CATL, the global battery titan, recently released its Q2 results, and on the surface, they look strong. But if you're only looking at the profit numbers, you're missing the real story. Today, we're going beyond the balance sheet to analyze the fundamental strategic shift that's underway, how CATL is evolving from a pure manufacturer into the architect of tomorrow's energy ecosystem.
So, here's our analytical roadmap. We'll start with the core thesis, our single biggest takeaway. Then, we'll deconstruct the numbers to see what's truly driving performance. From there, we'll examine the innovative business models designed to create new markets, assess their lead in next-generation technology, and finally, weigh the opportunities against the inherent risks.
All right, let's start with the conclusion first. What is the single most critical takeaway when analyzing CATL's position right now?
Here it is. CATL's narrative is no longer just about selling more batteries. The company is in the middle of a strategic pivot, transforming itself into an integrated energy architect. New business models like battery as a service and their zero-carbon industrial parks aren't just side projects. They are sophisticated strategies designed to create and lock in future demand. And underpinning all of this is a push for next-generation technology leadership aimed at building a competitive moat that will be incredibly difficult for rivals to breach.
Now that's a significant thesis. So let's turn to the data and deconstruct the financial performance to see what evidence supports this view.
The headline figure that caught everyone's attention was this, a 33.7% year-over-year jump in net profit. It's a robust number that surpassed most market expectations, indicating strong operational momentum.
But a number like that immediately raises a critical follow-up question for any analyst. What is the quality of this growth? And more importantly, what are the underlying drivers?
This chart reveals a crucial part of the answer. You can see the gross margin on CATL's overseas business is sitting at over 29%, while the domestic margin is just under 23%. That's a spread of more than 6 percentage points. The implication is clear. International expansion is not just a volume play, it is the primary engine driving higher quality, more profitable earnings.
And if we look inside the company, another structural shift is becoming apparent. The energy storage division, the business that provides large-scale batteries for power grids, now boasts a higher gross margin than the traditional power battery business for vehicles. With the automotive segment facing intense domestic price competition, a new profitability engine is clearly emerging within the company.
This dual role has led analysts to describe the energy storage business with two very fitting metaphors. It's a profit ballast because its stable, high-margin earnings can help offset the cyclicality of the auto industry. And it's a strategic capacity sponge, providing an ideal outlet to absorb CATL's massive planned production output.
And that idea of a capacity sponge leads us directly to one of CATL's biggest strategic challenges. When you plan to build a manufacturing footprint of this scale, how do you ensure there will be demand for your output? CATL's answer appears to be creating its own captive markets. To appreciate the scale of this challenge, consider this number: 925 gigawatt-hours. That's the total planned production capacity. To put that in perspective, we're talking about enough battery capacity for millions of electric vehicles, or to power entire cities. Filling these factories requires thinking far beyond just selling to traditional automakers.
Their first key innovation is battery as a service, or BaaS. The concept is simple but profound. Decouple the battery from the vehicle. The end user buys the car, but CATL retains ownership of the battery. This fundamentally alters the business model, transforming a one-time hardware sale into a predictable long-term service relationship with recurring revenue.
This BaaS model creates a powerful, self-reinforcing value loop. It starts with asset separation and generates that recurring revenue, but the strategic depth is in the next two steps. A whole fleet of batteries can be aggregated to act as a virtual power plant, providing valuable grid stabilization services. And crucially, by retaining ownership, CATL controls the battery at the end of its life, securing access to the valuable raw materials through recycling and closing the loop on its supply chain. The second innovation is perhaps even more ambitious, the zero-carbon industrial park. And here's the strategy. CATL builds entire industrial parks powered by renewables and stabilized by its own energy storage systems. Then it invites its own suppliers to set up operations within the park. In effect, they are building a guaranteed, large-scale, captive market for their own energy storage products. Of course,
innovative business models are only one half of the competitive equation. To truly secure its long-term position, CATL is also focused on widening its technological moat. So let's examine the next-generation battery technologies that are central to this strategy. The company is pursuing two distinct but complementary technology paths. On one side, we have sodium-ion batteries. With an energy density of 175 watt-hours per kilogram, they are designed for cost-sensitive applications like affordable EVs and energy storage. On the other end of the spectrum is the breakthrough, condensed matter batteries, boasting an energy density of 500 watt-hours per kilogram, a figure that opens up new markets like electric aviation. Both are slated for mass production this year.
The sodium-ion strategy is a calculated offensive move targeting the mass market. It offers a lower-cost alternative to the dominant LFP batteries, creating a tool to disrupt competitors in the most price-sensitive segments. Their AB battery concept, which mixes sodium and lithium cells in a single pack, also gives automakers new flexibility to balance cost and performance. The goal here is to break the cycle of commoditization at the lower end of the market.
Now, the commercialization strategy for the high-end condensed matter battery is a masterclass. Instead of launching it in electric vehicles, they're first targeting the high-value electric aviation market, where customers will pay a premium for this level of performance. The higher margins from that niche market can then fund the R&D and scale-up needed to eventually bring the technology to the automotive sector. This move is designed to establish a 1 to 2 year technology lead over competitors.
So, having examined the financial structure, the business model innovations, and the technology roadmap, let's synthesize these elements into a final balanced outlook on the opportunities and risks ahead.
The bull case is that these three pillars, financial strength, business model innovation, and technology leadership, are creating a powerful, self-reinforcing flywheel for sustainable growth and margin expansion. However, the bear case is equally compelling. Significant headwinds remain, including geopolitical tensions impacting global supply chains, intensifying competition, the inherent execution risk of these ambitious new ventures, and of course the ever-present threat of a disruptive new technology emerging from a competitor.
And all of this brings us to the fundamental question that this analysis points to. CATL's ambition is now clear. It is attempting to transcend its role as a component manufacturer to become a central player in the entire energy value chain. The ultimate question is whether it can successfully execute this transformation. Can a battery company truly redefine the boundaries of the global energy industry? The answer to that will have profound implications for the next decade.